Yes, hello again. This is tarot lesson number 115, and today I want to do a kind of brainstorm on the suit of swords, and I'll show you a couple of things, and then I'll give you an idea you could work with so you can figure out which, if you have multiple possibilities for a card, one way of figuring out which one to use. And we get to that. Today's Friday, it's Thursday the 14th, and tomorrow the 15th I'm going to upload this. So I have a website, a new-ish one, that's basically ready. I've got a couple of finishing touches to put to it. It's thetarot.ca, and it'll be up and available tomorrow, thetarot.ca. One word. And I'm thinking of making it my main site because there are articles there, short and long articles. There's some videos. There's going to be a question and answer section, and I can't remember what else. But anyway, if you go there and take a look, you can also sign up for the mailing list. There's a sign up form on the start page. So, swords. I brought out there's the two of swords that you know. And you can see from the design of the card that it's a big, heavy sword. And so if we do a kind of brainstorm on the suit of swords, we've got a sword is a weapon, right? So you can use it to attack or defend. So attack or defense. Okay, so when the suit of swords comes up, maybe what's important is for you, the reader, to think about, is the question going to attack, or are they going to use whatever it is to defend themselves against attack from other people? And so the idea of, do you go out and take the initiative, or do you hold back and see what is threatening or what's coming to you, and then you respond to whatever that happens to be. So this is all about you, the reader, having more ideas when the suit comes up, or having more ideas when any particular card comes up, so you can be more clear about what the answer is. And it's based on having a wider understanding of what is involved with a particular suit, in this case, swords. So with this card, you can either attack or defend. So in some way, you've got a choice. I picked the two deliberately because it's somebody who has to make or ideally is going to make the correct choice. But you can use the word choice with any suit, right? With a cup of tea or a cup, you can drink or not. But somehow, because it's a sword, which is a weapon, what the kind of choice is involved with the suit of swords is more dramatic or more life-changing, maybe, than it would be with a cup. I know that if you're drunk and you drink more and then you go out and drive, you can crash and kill people. And I know, yeah, but generally, or in more general circumstances, a cup, the choices involved with a cup are maybe not as dangerous. They're different from what you get with a sword. So we've got the idea of attack and defense and choice. And these are the kinds of ideas that you've got in the back of your mind when you're looking at a card, because it will give you more to say that's relevant for the questioner if you talk about maybe attack, defense, and also about choices. The other thing is this, you get different types of swords. You get a claymore, which I'm drawing badly like that, and you've got a big handle, and then you get a rapier. So a claymore is big and heavy, and a rapier, the kind of sword that you see in fencing competitions at the Olympic Games, is much easier. So maybe with the suit of swords, we think about how heavy how heavy is the question, or how serious? You know what I mean? Like heavy can mean serious. So it can be, the question might be about getting a divorce, which is life-changing. Or I live in London, is it a good idea to go and take the train to Paris for the weekend? That's another choice to be made, but somehow it's not as monumental as getting a divorce. So you can find that with when this suit comes up, you think about how serious is the question, or how serious is the kind of answer that you're getting. Because maybe it really doesn't matter what you do, but it can be that it's important. And this is for you, the reader, to sort of manipulate your mind or your thinking into an appropriate state so you can properly answer the question. The other, then I thought hands. Because with a claymore, a big heavy sword, you need both hands on the handle. And so your attention is maybe on your hands and on the sword itself. And with a rapier, you're using one hand. So there's a difference between how you would handle the question or the answer depending on what it is. Because if you're using two hands, imagine yourself holding a big heavy sword. You know that you have to be, that your stance or your position and your foot position is going to be important, because it's going to take a moment to swing the sword back and forth. So you need to be securely planted on the ground. So if you're off balance, then it's going to be more difficult to wield a sword. And this is where you look at the other cards that come up in the spread to get an idea of whether the person's off balance or not, or whether they can be easily distracted or off balance. Because if you can be easily distracted, then you're not going to be able to use the sword as effectively, because it's a big heavy sword. Whereas, so with a claymore, I'm talking claymore and rapier. With a claymore, you need skill and you need strength. With a rapier, a more light, pointed sword, you still need strength or still need skill rather, but you maybe don't need as much strength with a rapier. With other types of questions, you need agility and dexterity. You need to be able to adapt quickly and to respond quickly to the attack that comes your way. And this, again, is where you look at the other cards to get an idea of whether, if you're dealing with a rapier type question, is the person going to be able to adapt quickly when necessary? Or are they going to be slow and leaden-footed and unable to take advantage of situations that come their way, or to take advantage of the weakness of the opponent? Then I'm thinking here we've got a big claymore, a rapier. Then I thought, what about a dagger? A smaller, it's still a sword idea because you've got a blade and a handle, but a dagger is smaller, and you use different skills if you're using a dagger. So you need to be, you're making small cuts maybe, or if you've got a problem and swords comes up, maybe you figure out you've got a dagger in your hand. So you do many little adjustments or many small changes, which has an overall effect of getting the result that you want. Because a little dagger can also be a pruning knife. I don't know how to draw a pruning knife, but let's make it small. Where if you've ever pruned a rose bush or a plant, you've got a sharp knife and you cut off dead branches or bits of dead branches to encourage new growth. And this can be what the suit of swords is about as well. When you get smaller, it's about clearing away what isn't useful or what's no longer useful or no longer valuable, either to clear space or to make room so that new growth can develop. The other thing is, it occurred to me, need another piece of paper here. Oh, clumsy. That was quite good because I dropped the pen and hit my finger. Clumsiness can be important when it comes to the suit of swords as well, because imagine a claymore, a big heavy sword. It's easy to be clumsy when you're dealing with a sword, with a big heavy sword. Whereas with a rapier, it's maybe you're not going to be as clumsy. But just the idea of maybe you're clumsy in the beginning. So with the ace or the two or the three of swords, don't expect to be really good right from the very beginning. Maybe you need to give yourself a little bit of time, or the questioner needs to give themselves a bit of time to get used to manipulating the blade or handling the blade so they can make better use of it. And maybe with the ace, two and the three, the early cards in the sequence, you're more likely to be clumsy. Or maybe what you've got is any sword upside down can indicate clumsiness one way or the other. So if the question's about a relationship and you get swords upside down, it's like you're going to be clumsy, or watch out that you're not being clumsy, which can mean you say the wrong thing at the wrong time. So think about what you're going to say before you say it. Or you can insult people without meaning to insult them, but that's how they take it. So, and maybe that's why the three, which I happen to have brought out, maybe that's why the three of swords, because it's early on in the sequence and it can be clumsiness, that's why you've got swords piercing a heart. Whereas maybe you become more capable with the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, because you're not as clumsy as you were in the beginning or the first time you tried to do something. So how do you choose if you've got all these different possibilities? And a little while ago, I watched a video about somebody talking with the developer of a chess engine. So chess engines are like computer programs that play chess, and so you make a move and they analyze millions of possibilities and pick the best move, and then they always beat, well, the better ones always beat you no matter who you are. So I watched the video and it had to do with how a chess engine thinks, or how a chess engine works. And so what it does is you've got, for instance, I can't draw a chessboard, but let's say that's part of a chessboard, and you've got all the different squares. I should make 8. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and so maybe your first move is you move a pawn from here to here, right? And so your opponent moves their pawn to here. So at this point, you've got like 20 legitimate moves. You can move this pawn 2 squares forward, or 1 forward, or this one, or this one. You can move a knight from here to here, or here to here, and so on. Because you moved that, now you've got, I can't remember, you've got the queen, let's say, or you can move a bishop. So you've got a lot of moves that you could make. And what the chess engine does is it takes, for instance, let's say that's the potential move from here to here, and then it comes up with a different move. So maybe you move from here to here, and then it compares this move to this move. And if this move is better, it forgets about this move and goes on to the next one. So maybe it compares moving from here to here, and it decides, is this move stronger or better than this move? No, this move is better. So we forget about that, and we move on to the next move, which can be moving from this pawn from here to here. Is this move better than this move? So what it's doing, it's A/B testing kind of thing, where you've got a move, and then you think about, is it a better move than this other move? And if the other move is weaker, you forget about it and move on to the next one. And so if you discover that this move to here is better than this move, then you don't need to bother comparing this move with this and this and this, because they've already been discarded. So as an example, let's say the question is, do you develop a skill or do you hire somebody to do the work for you? So if you're going to hire somebody, then you have to think about what are their qualifications, what's their background, what's their experience, are they any good, are you going to be compatible with them? So you've got a lot of different connected questions that are important for if you're going to hire somebody. Whereas if you're going to develop your skill yourself, you can immediately discard all those multiple other questions, because if you're developing the skill by yourself, then you don't need somebody to find somebody who is more skilled, more experienced, who is good, who's capable, who's compatible with you. And in the same way that so if you've got multiple different ideas like clumsiness, attack, defense, if you choose one, you can automatically forget about the rest. And then when you make a little bit of development with, let's say, what have I got here, about the choices to be made, you don't need to consider everything all over again. So I think that's one way of looking at how do you choose between multiple different combinations of cards, or multiple possible meanings. It's just so you realize, or you remind yourself that when you've already discarded some ideas and you come up with a new one, you don't have to automatically compare it with the ideas that you've already discarded. So that was it for today. So thanks for watching, and I've got a couple of comments were left before, and I'll deal with them next time. So if you left a comment and I haven't spoken about it, I'll get to it next. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.